What's up, everybody? My name is Dana Harris with Young Gurus Math Tutoring, and I'm back at you to drop some more math jewels. Today I'm going to be talking about factoring polynomials. Now, this is probably one of the most hated topics that students are forced to learn in high school mathematics, but hopefully by the end of this video, it'll seem a little bit simpler. Let's go ahead and get into the examples. Now, in my first example, I'm going to take y squared plus 6y plus 5. Now, notice with these examples, I'm actually only going to have a leading coefficient of 1. All right? So, here, since I have b is positive as well as c is positive, then I'm going to put a plus sign here and a plus sign here. The only two factors of y squared, the only two things that I can multiply to get y squared are y and y. So I'm going to put y there and y there. Now, the factors of 5 is a prime number, so it only has the factors 1 and 5. So I can put 1 here, 5 here. Now, it's fine if you say y plus 5 and then y plus 1. It's going to be the same thing because of the commutative property of multiplication. So basically, whatever's in the value in this parentheses times the value in this parentheses, it's going to end up being the same regardless of the order that we put it in. Now, if I go to my second example and I have r squared plus 11r plus 28. Alright, now, once again, what I have is I'm going to put my parentheses here and my parentheses here. Alright, and actually I want to take, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's take this and make it minus 11r. Different type of problem. Okay, so we have b is negative and c is positive. All right. Now, remember, here, in order to get a positive sign, both of our signs have to be negative. The two values that we multiply have to be either a negative times a negative or a positive times a positive. But in this case, because this middle term is negative, then we want to put both of these terms as negative. For r squared, our only two factors that we can use are r. So r there, r there. All right. And now, when we look at 28, 28 has several factors. However, the only two factors of 28 that we can add together to get 11 are 4 and 7. Okay, so 7, 4. And just to kind of give you a little bit of explanation on that, so if I take the factors of 28, I can have 1 times 28, 2 and 14, 4 and 7. Those are all the factors of 28. However, the only two that I can add together to get 11 are 4 and 7. All right. Once again, I can put the 4 here and the 7 there as well. Now, remember, one of the key components to this process is that if you ever want to check it, we need to know that these two terms out here and these two terms out here, when I add them together, it's going to give me that middle term. So here, for example, what I want to do is, in order to check my answer, I can use the FOIL method. And that means first, outside, inside, and last. So when I do first, I'm doing r times r, which gives me r squared. All right. Outside, I'm doing the two outside terms, so r times negative 4. So r times negative 4 equals negative 4r. Inside, I'm doing the two middle terms, so negative 7 times r, which gives me negative 7r. And then last, I'm doing the last term in each parenthesis, so negative 7 times negative 4. And that gives me positive 28. And when I put all this back together, I have r squared minus 4r minus 7r plus 28. Notice negative 4r minus 7r combined to give me negative 11r. So you can always check to see if you've factored it correctly by using the FOIL method. There's several other methods you can use as well, but this is a common method, the FOIL method, okay? So remember, whenever B is negative and C is positive, I must have a minus and a minus in my parentheses, versus when B is positive and C is positive, I must have a plus and a plus in my parentheses. Let's say we have this example. And let's say we have z squared plus 2z minus 8. All right, that's a z. It looks weird, but just to make sure that you can tell the difference, that's a z. So notice that B is positive, but C is negative. And whenever we multiply, in order to get a negative number, the signs have to be different. So that tells me that here in my parentheses, I need to have a plus sign and a minus sign. Still, the only factors of z squared are z and z. All right. Now, the factors of 8 are 1 and 8, 2 and 4. All right. Now, we want to know which of these factors have a, if we combine them or if we subtract them, they're going to give us 2. Or I like to say they're 2 apart. So in this case, I have to use 2 and 4. Now, because this middle term is positive, I need to take the larger factor, which is 4 in this case, and put it next to the plus sign. Okay, because this middle term is positive. And then I need to take the 2 and go there. All right, so when I actually check them on the outside and the inside, 4z, I'll get 4z minus 2z, and 4z minus 2z gives me 2z. So that lets me know that I can also do z minus 2 times z plus 4 as well. Because remember, if it looks like this, it's the same thing. Remember, because these two parentheses tell us that we're multiplying whatever value is in this set of parentheses times whatever value is in this set of parentheses. All right, let's get one more example. All right, let's say we have t squared minus 3t minus 10. Now notice in this case, B is negative and C is negative. All right, so we still need to have different signs because C is negative. All right, but, and I have a habit of putting plus first, then minus next, but you can put the minus sign and then the plus sign second as well. But notice in this case, the reason why the signs are different is because C is negative, so in order to get a negative number, we have to multiply a positive times a negative. So t squared, we still just have t and t. All right, now the factors of 10. 10 has factors 1, 10, 2, and 5. And we need to know which one of those sets of factors are 3 apart. So in this case, I want to say minus 5 and then plus 2. Okay, so once again, if I take this part right here and I multiply t times negative 5, I get negative 5t. So 2t minus 5t gives me negative 3t. All right, and once again, we can actually write it as t minus 5 times t plus 2. All right, now there's a lot of different details that go into factoring these polynomials. Basically, you will put this all together when we talk about factoring polynomials at some point, and you'll see how they connect to the graphs of a parabola, and you'll see actually how you can apply these in real life. Please do me a favor if you're watching this video and go to Instagram and like us on it, subscribe to us on Instagram at YG Math Tutoring, as well as like the Facebook page, Young Gurus Math Tutoring, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel, Young Gurus Math Tutoring. Remember, I've got the solution to your math problems.